This is an LED tester and comparer I built some time ago, and I've used it so much that the contacts have worn out, and it uses standard Molex connectors for the LEDs, and the holes that the connector would normally be inserted into have worn to the point they're really huge now, and the contacts inside, it's scraped with the continuous insertion of LEDs, literally thousands of LEDs. It's worn right through the brass contacts inside, so I've been changing them, putting new ones in. Now you do got ordinary LED testers, but this one has the advantage, and I'll do a quick sketch of the circuitry in it because it's actually a very useful device. So basically speaking, it's a PP3 battery, PP3, and that's 9 volts. It's the little rectangular batteries, the common ones, this battery snap in the end. And the sockets, the LEDs are, let's draw them up here, it's just a couple of pins. And those ones go down to the negative, and the positive goes through a resistor, 270 ohm resistor, to a switch that switches between the two sockets. And also across here is a 100k resistor. So what this means is that when you put a LED into it, say this LED here, and the connectors are marked in the front, the polarity, you can either test it at the full current, or when you flick the switch to the other position, if there's not an LED in it, the current leaks through this resistor, this 100k resistor, and the current that leaks through is something like 50 microamps. It's really low, but you'll see that still makes the LED glow visibly. And it's interesting to note that if you get a pack of Duff LEDs, you can generally weed out which ones are going to fail, because the really poor quality LEDs, the ones that have sort of damaged thin film in them, the gallium nitride style LEDs, if you put them in and at that current they don't glow, then I've always found those ones are possibly liable to give issues in the future. So it's quite useful for that. But the main function is as an LED comparer, a comparator, and I'll show you how that works. I'll turn this over because I want a surface to point at, and I shall put an LED into each position. And even at sort of full intensity, you're going to be able to switch between the two with this toggle switch, and you're going to be able to compare colour. I'm not sure how this is going to look in the light, if it's going to show up. Yeah, okay. The one on the right looks brighter than the one on the left, and I'm just going to turn the lights off and show you this. So it lets me instantly compare two LEDs from different sources. So the one on the right looks bright and warm. The one on the left is a slightly colder warm white. I'm not sure if that's showing in the camera or not, but the one on the right also looks brighter. So that's an instant test, you know, you can instantly compare the LEDs. Now I've got another couple of LEDs here, two red ones. One is the standard coloured red diffused LED. So I'll put that in here. And again, even at the low current, they're surprising how bright LEDs are when you put them in. Okay, so now I'm going to compare these two LEDs from different suppliers, and I can instantly tell that they're pretty much similar intensity. But looking at it right here, I'm seeing the one on the left is an orangier red. It's a nicer red actually, it's much brighter and warmer red. So these are actually two from suppliers on eBay that I'm probably going to place an order for about 1,000 of these LEDs. So I think I'm going to go for the ones on the left, which in a sense is a bit of a nuisance because I'd rather the LEDs had been self-coloured. You know, the coloured resin, but the one that's actually won here is the clear but diffused resin. But it's great, it's very handy, and yeah, it's good for testing batches of LEDs or for quality, and also just for comparing them for beam quality and just comparing between LEDs. A very useful tool indeed, and very easy to build. As I say, that is just two Molex connectors, the 0.1 inch, the 2.54mm if you want to be metric about it, connected to a changeover switch with a common resistor, and then the other one tacked over the top. Very useful tool indeed.